So part 2 of the phone rang, then it's shut off, but we're back. Okay, so if we're going to graph the cosine function or the sine function very lightly, we're going to do that. We know cosine starts, I'm just going to graph this. I'm not going over this because you already know how to graph sine and cosine. That's not what this video is about today. So there I quickly graphed my sine and cosine. So the first thing I'm going to do is I will draw in my asymptotes. Draw those in. They'll always occur when the cosine graph hits 0, because 1 divided by 0 is undefined. So we're going to draw in our asymptotes. That's step 2. Okay, so step 1 was graph the cosine function of it. Step 2 was the asymptotes. Step 3 is drawing our U-shapes. So our U-shapes are going to occur right, see here we have a maximum value, and here then we draw our U-shape, which actually has a minimum value. So we just draw those in, and we draw those in. We approach the asymptote but never touch it, approach the asymptote but never touch it. So there I have graphed 2 times the secant of theta. So let's do another one just to get a good idea of what these are looking like. So if I graph, let's see, let's graph a harder one. Let's graph y equals, let's graph one from actually your worksheet. Your worksheet, I think it's T11. Problem number, let's see. Where do I have your worksheet T11? I want to do one from that. Oh, here we go. Let's just do problem number 20 together from worksheet T11. So y equals 1/2 the cosecant of theta over 4. So step 1, graph the reciprocal function, which would be your sine. So graph y equals 1/2 sine of pi over 4. So we're going to graph that first. So first I want to think about real fast, well, what is going to be my period, so then I can figure out the increments of what I'm going to go up by, and I'm going to do this in a pencil. So I get 2 pi over b. The b here is 1/4. It's not 4, it's 1/4. So my period, 2 pi divided by 1/4 is 8 pi. So my period here is going to be 8 pi, so that means I'm going to go up by increments of 2 pi. Oops, 8. Okay, and we're talking about the amplitude is 1/2, so I say 1/2 and -1/2. And then it is the sine function, and I know how the sine function works now. So I'm going to draw in my curve. I'm not the best artist, but I think you know. Okay, so here's our sine function. So now we'll just, step 2, draw in your asymptotes. Your asymptotes will occur everywhere where this, you see, crosses the 0. So here's an asymptote, here's an asymptote, here's an asymptote. And then all we have to do is draw in our U-shapes. Our U-shaped curves are going to be here, approaches the asymptote, never actually touches it, approaches the asymptote but never actually touches it, approaches it, again, never actually touches it. So now I have graphed y equals 1/2 the cosecant of theta over 4. And hopefully this will give you a good idea and be able to quickly graph the problems on worksheet T11. Enjoy.